Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. In this video, I will be discussing about the OOPS question which are very commonly asked in an interview round. Now this video is specific for the C++ language. In future, I will be posting one more video for the Java language as well. So make sure that you subscribe this channel so that you can get the further updates which are posted on this channel. Now, this video is the third installment of this series. I have already made two videos before in which I have discussed the important Python interview questions, and in second video I have discussed the important machine learning interview questions. So guys, make sure that you watch those videos also. Those videos will be very informative for you and they will help you clear the interview. Now, starting this video, I want you guys to please like this video. Liking this video will give me motivation to make more such videos. And guys, make sure that you have joined the Telegram group of this channel, the link of which is given in the description box. In Telegram group, I post regular updates on the upcoming drives and I solve the previous year questions which are asked in the companies. So make sure that you join that group and you do not miss any further updates on the companies and the questions which are asked in the companies. So now let's begin this video. Okay, so guys, OOPS topic is the very important topic as per the technical interview is concerned. So guys, in this video, I have discussed around 12 to 15 important OOPS questions which can be asked in an interview. So guys, please watch the video till the end and I guarantee you that you will not be rejected in an interview on the basis of your OOPS knowledge. So let's start the video by discussing the first question. The first question is what is the difference between early binding and the late binding? So guys, these terms early binding and late binding are nothing but they are just compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. They are asked by the interview just to confuse you, that many of you have not heard the terms of early binding and late binding, but they are nothing but early binding is compile time polymorphism and late binding is runtime polymorphism. Now, compile time polymorphism is implemented through method overloading, whereas late binding, that is runtime polymorphism, is implemented through function overriding. So this was the first question which can be asked by you. Now the second question is, what is the concept of method overriding? I have just told you that method overriding is used to implement runtime polymorphism. So first point is that method overriding is a feature that allows a subclass to provide the implementation of a method that overrides in the main class. Okay, so it means that the function in a child can override the function which is declared in the parent class. So this is called the method overriding. So this was the second question. Now the third question is, what is method overloading? Okay, so method overloading is the implementation of compile time polymorphism. What does method overloading do? It allows the creation of several methods with the same name which differ from each other by the type of input and output of the function. Okay, so in the same class there can be two or more methods whose function names are same but they differ on the basis of the arguments which are passed in them. Like in one function 2 arguments are passed, in second function with same name 3 arguments are passed. So this is the concept of method overloading. Method overloading is very useful in constructors when we have to overload the constructor. Now next question is that, what is a pure virtual function? So guys, these questions are very easy, but you need to know these terms, that what are pure virtual functions, what are virtual functions, method overloading, method overriding. These are very easy concepts, but just you have to know the names so that you can speak in the interview. So a pure virtual function is a function which can be overridden in the derived class but cannot be defined. Okay. So a pure virtual function is a function who does not have any definition of its own. It is declared in the parent class, but the actual definition of it is given in the child class when it is inherited. So this is the definition of a pure virtual function. So the function which do not have any body defined by its own is the pure virtual function. Now the next question is, what are the operators that cannot be overloaded? So most of you know that there are certain operators in C++ which can be overloaded. For example, plus can be overloaded with strings. So we can simply concatenate S1 and S2 with the help of a plus operator by overloading it. But there are few operators like the scope resolution operator and the member selection operator, that is the dot operator. These two operators are the example of the operators which cannot be overloaded. That is, they cannot be assigned any task. They are declared to provide a specific task only. So they cannot be overloaded. So these are two examples. Now next question is, what are abstract classes and how many instances of the abstract classes can be created. Now, an abstract class is a class that is designed to be specifically used by as a base class. An abstract class contains at least one pure virtual function. Okay. So now, what is the definition of abstract class? Abstract classes are those classes which contain at least one pure virtual function. And what are pure virtual functions? I have discussed earlier in this video. That what are pure virtual functions? Okay. So abstract class contains at least one pure virtual function. Now, the second part of the question is that how many instances of this class can be created? So guys, take a note of it. The instance of abstract classes which can be created are 0. That is, no object of the abstract class can be created. So when the interview asks you, you just simply say that no object of an abstract class can be created. Now the next question is, what is a friend function? Okay, so this is a very common as well as a very important question as per the interview is concerned. In 9 out of 10 times this question will be asked by you. Now, a friend function is a friend of a class that is allowed to access the public, private or protected data in that same class. Okay, so most of you know that when inheritance take place, so the derived class can access the public as well as protected data member of the parent class. But what if the child class has to access the private members? So it cannot directly access the private members by just simply inheritance. So there it comes the concept of friend function. That is the function which is declared as friend can access the private members of the friend class also. So this is what a friend function is. Now the next question is, explain different types of constructor. Now this is again a very important question as per the interview is concerned. Now there are 3 types of constructor which are present in C++. One is the default constructor. The default constructor is the constructor which is automatically present in the compiler. Now the default constructor is the constructor which do not have any parameters in its arguments, which do not have any parameters. Now the second type of constructor is the parametric constructor. Now the constructor which have the parameters, in which the parameters can be passed, is known as the parametric constructor. Now when we have to declare more than one constructor in the class, then the concept of constructor overloading comes into handy. Now these were the 2 types of constructor. Now the third constructor is the copy constructor. Now this constructor creates a new object as a copy of an existing object. So if you have to declare a new object and you want that the values of the new object is same as the previous object, then you can simply use the copy constructor for this purpose. So these were the 3 different types of constructors. So guys, if you are finding this video informative till now, please hit the like button. Now the next question is, that is the 9th question is, explain different types of access modifiers. So you know that there are 3 kinds of access modifiers in C++. First is the private access modifier, another one is the protected, and third one is the public. In private access modifier, the data members can't be accessed outside of the class. In protected access modifier, the protected access modifier is same as the private access modifier, but when the inheritance take place, these protected access modifiers can be used by the derived class, can be used by the methods of the derived class. Now the third one is the public access modifiers. The public access modifiers are those modifiers which can be used anywhere in the program, that is outside the class as well as the inside the class. So these were the 3 types of access modifiers. Now this is again the next question, that is what is this pointer. This is again a very easy as well as very important question as per the interview is concerned. Now almost every time this question is popped up, that is what is this pointer. Now this pointer refers to the current object of a class. So you can simply say this one line. The interviewer will be satisfied with this line, that is this pointer refers to the current object of a class. So this was this pointer. Simply you can say this line. Now next is, what is an overflow error. So this is not that common question in an interview, but it is an important one. So you must know what is an overflow error. It is a type of arithmetical error. It happens when the result of an arithmetical operation being greater than the actual space provided by the system. Okay, so you can take an example of an integer range. So if you pass a very high value in an int data type, then the value will overflow. So this is an example of an overflow error. Okay, so now the next question is explain the diamond problem in multiple inheritance. Okay, so this is again a very common question which can be asked in an interview. So I will be giving a link in the description box for understanding this diamond problem. So make sure that you go through that link so that you can understand this question better. So the next question is, what is the role of destructor? Now we know that what a constructor does. It helps us in initializing the object. That is this, and it is the proper opposite of what a destructor does. A destructor is used to delete any extra resource allocated by the object. So this is a proper and small definition of a destructor. That is, a destructor is used to delete any extra resources allocated by the object. Now the next question and the last question of this video. Now the question is explain all the concept of OOPS. So guys, I want you to understand one thing, that whenever an interviewer will go towards the OOPS part for asking in the interview, the first question will be explain all the OOPS concept in the present in your language. So these are the four concepts, that is, you can again say the features of OOPS, that is polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance and abstraction. The definition of these four features must be on your tips, and you have to explain them with the help of the real life example. So for example, for abstraction, you can take an example of a car, that we know that when we will press the accelerator, the car will move fast, but we do not know the entire mechanism, what is happening behind in the engine. So like this, you have to tell the real life examples for making them explain these four features of the OOPS. So guys, these were all the questions which were to be discussed in this video. I hope guys you understood all the questions, and make sure that you practice this question, because these are very common questions and they will be 100% asked in your interview. Okay, so I hope guys you like this video. Thank you.